Well, Brendan, you're heading to Kazakhstan on the Champions League qualification duty. How do you feel about that?
Great. Probably like everyone else, but listen, look, if we're honest, I think everyone would have preferred the closer team and not so much journey. But no, listen, it is what it is. We've been there before, and the first leg we want to make a real push to set a standard in that game on Wednesday, and then we go there the following week and look to qualify. It's such a huge game, big game, and when it comes, we'll be ready for it.
What did you learn from your previous experience in terms of making sure that the logistics don't make the football match any harder?
Well, I think that operationally we're very, very good. I think there's no stone unturned to make sure the preparation's right. We've got a brilliant operations team here, and Brendan and Ailu leads that. And wherever we go, the pre-seasons, everything, he and his staff, they do a brilliant job along with the club and Teresa in organising, making sure flights and hotels and everything is. So logistically, we'll do everything we possibly can to make the journey and the preparation, because that's what it's all about. You've got to try and prepare at such a mammoth journey. So the preparation is key for that. So after this actual press, we have another sort of meet on that. But the club will do everything we can, I'm sure, to ensure the preparation is what we would want.
You mentioned before your previous experience as well of really making the home tie count as well. That changed the dynamic slightly, putting that extra emphasis on. I thought it was that the same as you were doing.
I think you would do that in anything. When you have your home leg first, you want to play well. And I think over the two legs, I think we had the game against Kazakhstan. We had a really good, so it was 5-0 in that one. And I remember the Bereshiva game, we were 5-0 up at a period in that, and I think it ended up 5-2. So, and our job in the first leg won as the second leg. So, yeah, there was a wee bit of a threat in that game, which shouldn't have been. You know, we're 6-1 up at half time in aggregate, and all of a sudden they get 3 goals from nowhere, and then it ends up 8-4, I think, the aggregate, which makes it look really, really comfortable. But there was a period in that second game in the second half that it wasn't great. So, but no, we'll get there prepared and ready. And as I said, it's such a huge game, so we'll be really focused on that.
So much emphasis on what the squad will look like come the end of the window. What about the date of these games? Obviously, come slightly before that. Do you have that date in mind to try and change the squad before then? Would you be confident that you'd have any incomings before then?
It hopefully would be the answer to that. We have right up until, I believe it's the day before the game to change our squad. So hopefully that can be the case. I think we said it all along, and I don't want to dwell too much on it. It's been constant, and I'm not clever enough for you guys to say the same thing 20 times differently. So we hope that we can improve it, and hopefully by then we will do.
I spoke to Brendan about the Livingston game before. You chose not to postpone it. Is that still the case, even though you do face that mammoth journey afterwards? You're still going to play that match?
Yeah, we'll play the game now. No, we looked at that and decided that we wanted to play that for a number of reasons. Obviously, getting players up to speed and fitness, and yeah, we have a good squad of players here, and if I need to rotate it and change it, I can do.
Just in terms of the transfers, is the emotion become a little bit of a frustration on your part that there are not the movements in the window that you would like in terms of that forward area? Are you becoming frustrated by this?
No, I think it's, listen, I'm philosophical about it. I think that the club has always notoriously done business towards the end of the window. And I've said it before, I think that all managers and coaches want the players in as soon as we can, because pre-season is for preparation, and you want to be as prepared as you possibly can be. So, but like I've said, if the players we get in or not, what I know is that the players that are here have, what has gone unnoticed a little bit is that we've made a really good start. We've had 2 really good wins, played well. I know we'll get better, and but I can't knock the performance over the 2 games to get the results. and sometimes that has been clouded a wee bit and all the sort of negativity around the transfer. So I'm really just trying to focus on the guys that are here. Lots of stuff going on in the background, and then hopefully we can come out of the end of the market in a good place.
Should we expect a strong team tomorrow night, Brendan, just to get the boys up to speed for the European?
It will be a strong team, whatever. If I do make changes, I think that we've had players that have come back a little bit later, so they need to get up to speed. There's others that won't play. I also have to maybe think Livingston, rather than throwing players in for maybe a first game there. So the team will be strong, and I'll have a good bench if I need to affect it.
Is Kieran getting slowly up the pace? I mean, you've got more for each of the last 2 league games, and you see a difference around the whole training that you get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think that's going to be time, and I just want to take it steady with him, because he's full on in training. His mentality is unbelievable, and it's also considering that he hasn't played a lot over the last couple of years. So then just throw him into every single game for 90 minutes, that's not really going to work for us. But I've been so pleased with how he has come in, how he's settled, and he's getting between 60 and 70 minutes, and just working his fitness level. Yeah, no, he understands it now. He's obviously got a great maturity to him now, and has probably sensed maybe he's been his own worst enemy, because he is so committed and he is so full on. But you can see his maturity now as a young player, or as an experienced player now, that in those moments where you do maybe, if you're doing 6 exercises and you're taking him out of the last one, then he understands it much better now. Even though he's inherently a guy that gives everything, and it's never 80% or 70%, it's 100% always. But been so pleased to have him back, and he showed up really well.
So long-term benefit of that you hope you'll get him to the point where he's maybe as fit as he's ever been in his career.
Yeah, I think what we want to try and increase his level of strength as well. Because there's parts of that we feel that we can help him and improve and help in that robustness. Sometimes it's just collagen as well. It's just how you're made up. Like Kieran, he's not breaking down because he's brave and not doing his work. He's an unbelievable young professional who's in spells had really, really some bad luck. And others then you just pick up their natural injuries. But and then there's certain players in their career that's just so unfortunate. Just their body makeup, their collagen means that they are injured quite a bit. So, but we're very confident in him coming back. Not even at his prime absolutely yet, but we want to help him and manage the process through for him, and that's our duty here.
On tomorrow night's opponents, how pleased are you to see the progress that John has made with his team over the past couple of years?
Yeah, I'm so happy for him as a guy and his football. And I think what John has demonstrated in his time since he's gone back into management, that talent and technique will always override power. Unless you have the resources and the money to get power and technique and talent, then it's sometimes a difficult ask, and especially when you're trying to play football. And I look at his teams at Wraith, and I look at what he's done here now at Falkirk, and bringing them up, and you see how they play, and you see the attitude, the energy they have in the game, and the technical qualities that they have in the game. Him and Polly's assistant, they've done a brilliant job, and just so pleased for them, because at the end there was a wee bit of a nervousness last year at the end, but they got the job done, and I watched the game, and it was a great night for him. So yeah, he deserves all the accolades he gets. Been absolutely fantastic, and like I said, they've demonstrated that the game idea and how they want to play, and they have an inherent belief in that. And that football philosophy has allowed Falkirk to get promoted for the first time in years. So well done to him, his staff and his players. And for us, we don't underestimate them tomorrow night. We'll be ready from the first whistle to be really aggressive in the game.
There's been a bit of talk about Dyson Maida this week. Is there any update in terms of his contract talks? And there's some suggestions from some quarters that you might be looking for a move in this window. Can you tell us what it is?
Yeah, no, just simply he's obviously got a couple of years. There has been discussions and that going on in the background, but I don't have any sort of updates on it. He's been here 4 years. He's progressed every year he's been here and finished off a brilliant season for him. And I think what you always get with Dizan is 100%, and likewise he's not quite up to full speed yet. But no, I don't know of any developments on that.
So you fairly settled, but you can confidently hear in the windows, you got right?
Yeah. I'm fairly confident of that. Yeah, as can be.
You played Tyson through the middle times last season. That's something you could revisit,
Yeah.
depending on what goes down in the transfer window.
Yeah, well, I've always said he's a player that can play in there. We've had other options before in the past, and he's always shown when he's gone in there that he can play the role really well. So it's always an option for me.
Brendan, this is today's silly question. Come on, the boys in the front row will tell you.
The boys in the front row normally ask them. Is that what you're saying?
Furore and Gordon's show.
Sorry?
There's been a bit of furore in Gordon's show. A number of people have phoned in anxious that you didn't wear a tie to Toddy on Sunday. Was there any reason other than you chose not to wear a tie?
I know, Roy, it's unbelievable. Someone has told me this here. It's like I'm supposedly sending messages as if I've got. It's unbelievable. I wore a jumper. I'm basically like everyone else. See, when it's really hot, you have to take off your jacket or your tie. And see, when it's really cold, you wear a jumper. So I remember last year I wore a jumper. People said, well, he's sending a message. What message? Bloody freezing. I was sticking a jumper on in my big coat and it was up to there and I'm fine. And last week, there's 2 grounds I've realised in my career that are absolutely boiling, right? If you get it at the time and the sun's hitting your dugout, Pittodrie and Preston, deeped it, right? I went there once before and I got absolutely roasted on the day. And Pittodrie's the same because the sun and it hits you. So I thought, well, I've either take off my jacket or take off my tie. So I took my tie off. So I don't know what message that is. I'm just warm. So this is modern football, eh? So I'm sorry if I've wasted people's energy and time on being wrong, but I was just a wee bit hot, and that's why I was no tie.
Like I'd say be back on spot right then.
Tie. I'll look at the temperature. It should be back on tomorrow. Yes. Listen, I've always been the shirt and tie man. My father always brought me up. Be respectful. When he sent me on trial to clubs when I was younger, at 13, 14, he would send me away in a shirt and tie. From that, I've always represented him in respect level. So it's always shirt and tie where it can be.
I'm getting all daft on as well.
And I tell you what is really good here, how that you're actually claiming they're daft. When I get them every week, but you don't say they're daft.
Well, I'll just go back to the logistics for Armati. Last time, I thought it was the Rolling Stones playing you got last time. Is it Madonna's playing you got the last time? What's the plan for this one?
Well, hopefully playing that gives you the chance to relax and get a rest and recovery. That's always when you travel that far, then again there is a serious side to it. There's preparation, and not just for the game that you're going to, but the game you're coming back for. So you always want to ensure that you get the best possible play, and that allows you to relax and recover and cope the best you possibly can. Whoever's playing it is, I don't really know, but as I said, the club will make the best efforts to get the best one.
Any injuries or knocks? I don't have question.
No, we're in a good place. Just normal season. Players are working well, and looking forward to the game. So nothing injury wise.